everyone. For this episode of the Tombstone Tourist, I'm about 40 miles east of Des Moines in the small town of Newton, Iowa. As you drive through this small town of about 15,000 people, you'll soon figure out why Newton is known as the washing machine capital of the world. Here in Union Cemetery, we're going to be visiting the final resting place of Frederick Maytag, the man who gave us the Maytag washing machine. Frederick Maytag was born in Elgin, Illinois on July the 14th, 1857. When he was 10 years old, his family moved west in a covered wagon and settled here in central Iowa. In 1893, Frederick, along with 3 partners, started a new farm implement company that produced threshing machines and livestock feeders. The company was so successful that eventually Frederick took control and renamed it the Maytag Company. With Frederick firmly in control, the company continued to grow. Then in 1910, Frederick turned the day-to-day operations of the business over to his 2 sons so he could concentrate on a new idea. After several months of trial and error, Frederick introduced a washing machine that was powered by a small gas motor. The new motorized washing machine proved extremely popular, and by 1927, the Maytag washer was outselling its nearest competitor by 2-1. In 1926, Frederick began to step back, turning the day-to-day operations over to his son Elmer. But Frederick couldn't step away altogether and continued to promote the company. During the Great Depression, Maytag was one of the few companies that turned a profit, largely due to the unpopular move by Elmer that required employees to take a 10% pay cut. While Elmer was rather unpopular with the employees, Frederick was always well thought of. He could often be found meeting and greeting with the employees as they reported to work. He listened to them and did the best that he could to ensure that their needs were being met. During the Great Depression, Frederick would often hear of an employee who had fallen on hard times. He would often dip into his personal account to help them through their difficult times. By the mid-1930s, Frederick began having health problems and all but retired from the company. He split his time between Iowa and his winter home in Beverly Hills, California. On March 26, 1937, Frederick Maytag suffered a heart attack and passed away at Good Samaritan Hospital in Beverly Hills. His body was returned to Newton, where a public funeral was held at the First Methodist Church. After the service, more than 10,000 Maytag employees, including factory workers and salesmen, lined the streets for the procession to Union Cemetery. His funeral remains one of the largest funerals in Iowa history. Over the years, the Maytag Company expanded to manufacture other home appliances such as refrigerators, dryers, stoves, and dishwashers. The Maytag appliances gained a reputation of being long-lasting and dependable. The company's TV commercials capitalized on this reputation by featuring a seldom used and often bored Maytag repairman. These commercials are some of the most popular in television history. Maytag maintained its corporate offices and manufacturing plant in Newton for several decades. Then in 2001, the company made the decision to reduce its Newton manufacturing operation in favor of a new plant in Mexico. The Newton plant continued to operate at reduced production until 2005, when the company was sold to Whirlpool. The Whirlpool Corporation promptly shut down the manufacturing plant that employed about 1,000 workers. Whirlpool also closed the corporate offices, putting another 800 people out of work. This move ended Maytag's long association with the city of Newton and the state of Iowa. Even though Maytag no longer maintains a corporate presence in Newton, the Maytag name is still prominent throughout the town. As I was driving in, I saw several businesses in town bearing the Maytag name, including the Maytag Dairy, which is directly across the street from Union Cemetery. Well, this ends my visit to Union Cemetery here in Newton, Iowa. I hope you're enjoying my tombstone adventure across the Hawkeye State. If you are, I always welcome your comments. And just a reminder that most of my videos on this channel are cemetery related, although every once in a while I will slip in a video from some of my other adventures. So, if you want to keep up with all of my travels, be sure to ring that bell and subscribe. And a thumbs up is always appreciated. So as I continue my trip across the Hawkeye State, please remember, life is a wonderful journey. Be sure to take time and enjoy it. And I'll see you down the road. So long, everyone.